You're listening to the Master Passive Income Podcast Network. Welcome to the Master Passive Income Show. My name's Dustin Heiner, and I'm here to help you quit that job, that just overbroke job, by investing in real estate for financial freedom. And in today's show, I am so pumped to bring on a 21-year-old student, college student. He's already got 3 properties. He's buying even more, and he's planning to never work a job. And he's going to show you how he did it and how you can do it as well. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Master Passive Income Podcast, where we talk about investing in real estate with a special focus on making enough money so you can quit your job and live the dream life. And now, here's your host, Dustin Heiner.
What's up? What's up? Super blessed as always to have you here with me on the show. Now, I am super pumped to share this episode with you today because, honestly, no matter where you are in life, it is now the right time to invest in real estate. Now, there's a saying that fits right now. Absolutely. I love this saying. I say it all the time. Now, when is the best time, not the right time, the best time to plant a tree? Well, it was 20 years ago. The best time was 20 years ago. But when's the right time? The second best time, which is the right time, is today. We plant that tree today so that in 20 years, we can build a tree fort in it. We could put a rope swing in it. We get the shade. If it has fruit, it'll have fruit, which most trees, it'd be great to have fruit coming out. More and more benefits from a huge tree that you planted 20 years ago. Now imagine you 20 years from now, you'd say, man, I was listening to Dustin's podcast, Master Passive Income. I was listening to week after week, getting so much information, encouragement, and seeing how to invest. I just never did. And now I'm still working this dead-end JOB. And you know what JOB stands for? Just over broke. And you're living just over broke because your boss is paying you just enough to keep you working without quitting, but not so much money it takes money out of their pocket. If they paid you what you were worth, they would go broke. And so instead of thinking 20 years from now, in fact, let's do this. Close your eyes right now. If you're driving, don't do that. Just kind of imagine it right now. But just think to yourself, what life will be like in 20 years. Now, first, think what life would be like in 20 years if you never invested and you just continue to work a job. Now, you might get some raises here and there. You might get a promotion. You might get a new job and it might look okay, but you might also get laid off. In fact, if you're thinking right now, what could potentially happen? I was looking at technology jobs, which I'll get into in just a second. People are getting laid off left and right, technology jobs, and those were supposed to be guaranteed. Now, instead of that, imagine yourself 20 years from now, where every year you bought one property. And then in 20 years, you had 20 properties, and then rents go up, values go up, you pay less or almost no money in taxes, and then you're making $20,000 a month in cash flow in 20 years. You're going to be glad that you planted that investing tree today because that's the right time, is literally today. Now, my student that we're bringing on today, he's 21 years old. Imagine that, 21 years old. Because you might be thinking, well, Dustin, I'm 68. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 68 years old. Is now the right time to invest? I don't know if I have. Man, if a 21-year-old can do it, you absolutely can do it, no matter what situation you are in. And my 16-year-old daughter, she bought, well, she's 18 now, but when she was 16 years old, she bought her first property. It's making her like $315 every single month in cash flow. If they can do it with limited funds, limited means, limited everything, then you can too. Now, the one thing that they did have is they had me, the coaching that we do at Master Passive Income. So that helps. That helps a ton. And I've had people say, Dustin, just from listening to your podcast, I learned how to invest and I invested in real estate. I'm like, that's exactly why I have this show. Also, I just looked up the tech jobs that are being lost right now because of AI. Back like 3 months ago, I think it was Cisco. Cisco laid off, it might be a different big name company, but laid off 30,000 programmers. Just think about that. 30,000 programmers or computer programmers. That's nuts. And then a quick Google search, I just searched tech jobs layoffs. And oh my goodness, this list, I think it's crunchbase.com, news.crunchbase.com. It has a laundry list of all of these jobs. Let me go through a couple. Now, there's a lot of companies that are smaller that have, like 50 people that are being laid off, to 100, couple hundred. Robinhood, that's the stock trading platform. They laid off 290 just a week ago. They laid off 290 people. But you got larger companies, Lucid Motors. I think they produce electronic vehicles. 1,500 layoffs. Lastminute.com, I don't know what that is. 400 layoffs. Rackspace, 750 people laid off. Smaller companies like Zen City, 15 people laid off. But then as I keep scrolling down, I mean, it's a laundry list. It just keeps going and going. Amdocs laid off 3,000. 3,000 tech jobs got laid off. Let's see, Groupon laid off 400. Wix, 1,000. Intuit, 3,000. And this was in May 20th of 2026. Intuit laid off 3,000 programmers. Cisco, another 4,000. Gambling.com, 140 people got laid off. My goodness, I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking it's no longer that you should invest in real estate. It's honestly, you must invest in real estate. Think about any tech job is going to be gone. I see Meta just laid off 8,000 people. 8,000 people in May. Cloudflare, 1,100 people got laid off. PayPal, 5,000 people got laid off. In when was that? That was in May as well. Oh my goodness, this is getting nuts. And so you're gonna be thinking, it's no longer that you should, it's that you must invest in real estate. Now, you might also be thinking, well, Dustin, I'm not in tech. I do something else. Well, here's the crazy thing that's going to happen, and it's just a matter of time. It is literally just a matter of time before this happens with all of these layoffs. Now, remember, tech jobs, these are high-paying jobs. These are high-paying people or paid people that they make so much money that they buy these expensive homes. Now, you and I, because we're investors, we're going to be so excited that these prices of these homes are going to just plummet and we're going to be able to buy these properties. But the economy is going to go so terribly wrong. In fact, AI, it seems like any white-collar job is going to be gone. And so if you're in college right now and you're thinking, my goodness, am I going to have a job when I get out of college? Honestly, that's an amazing question that you better be really wrestling with right now. And I'm bringing on one of my students. He is 21 years old. I am so pumped for him. He already has 3 properties. He's under contract for a 4th property. He is just doing an amazing job. He actually joined as a one-on-one coaching student. One of our coaches, Jeremy Pusey, he's actually a student at Master Passive Income, graduated, is now a coach. That's what our students do. They graduate and start coaching people because they see the vision of helping other people. They see the value of blessing other people, and they just want to give back and they want to help the students here at Master Passive Income. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching or the inner circle that we have, that you actually get access to me 2-day events that we do, we're even going to go on a cruise and put that on your radar. Beginning of 2027, January into February, we're going to be doing a mastermind cruise. I'm going to open that up to everybody. So be on the lookout for that cruise. It's going to be a real estate mastermind cruise that you could even get a tax write-off because it's a real estate or it's educational expense for you and your business. So keep an eye out for that. But the one-on-one coaching is amazing with the fast track. It fast tracks you. Now, I am so pumped to bring on my student. He is a fantastic investor, has done so much. He's thinking that, my goodness, I may never, ever need a job. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. You may never need a job. In fact, for my kids, I'm hoping they never get a job. I want them never employed. Instead of, my brand is successfully unemployed, I want their brand to be never employed because they have businesses, because they invest in real estate. And that's what I want for you. I want you to change your life. So get my real estate investing course completely for free. Text the word rental, RENTAL, rental to 33777. Rental to 33777. And I'll literally give you my course completely for free. I've had so many people just invest just from getting that and teaches them everything, and they do it. Now, if you need more help, you need one-on-one help, you need people walking you through, checking the deals and all that sort of stuff, that's what we have, the one-on-one coaching as well as the group coaching as well. And now let's bring on my student, Sebastian Nave, as he's going to share with us how he is never going to work a job and how you can do it as well. All right, here we go. Super pumped to have a fantastic real estate investor on who's only been investing for a little while, but has already amassed properties. He's got a duplex. He's got a property he's using as an Airbnb. He's also closing on a property next month. It's amazing whirlwind. But I have Sebastian on, one of my students here at Master Passive Income. Sebastian, thank you so much for coming on and hopefully giving so much encouragement to everybody listening.
Thank you very much. I've learned so much from the classes and from the income builder. I mean, I'm on that all the time. You guys, if you're listening, you need to get on Income Builder. It's the best software. It's helped me out a ton. I've shared it with local realtors, and they're loving it. It's really valuable. So I love the course and the people I've gotten to meet. So thank you very much for making all that possible.
That's a fantastic. So I gave a little bit of idea of what you've done so far, the properties you have. We want to dive into those. But what I really want to know first, because we have to have a reasoning to do this. Why are you wanting to, like, from the very beginning, and then now you're already investing? What got you into investing?
So what got me into investing is my parents actually have always worked for themselves, and they're professional athletes and they work with horses. And so I grew up with a household where they were always working for themselves. They made their own schedule. They made their own time to travel if they wanted it because they had that flexibility, and they weren't dependent on someone else all the time. And so I, growing up with that, really wanted to mirror that in my life and continue it. And so I started looking at real estate because I love tangible things. I'm really I'm worried that one day AI could come in and sweep the bank accounts clean should it ever
Which
want
just
to.
sounds like a
So
possibility.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah, it does. And so I wanted to get something tangible and scalable and proven. Real estate's one of the most proven ways to build wealth. So that's where I started out.
I love it. I love it. Well, you glossed over your parents' athletes. Are they jockeys or something with horses? Like what athletes? Tell me a little bit more about
So
that.
my dad's a professional polo player on which horses, stick and ball, and it's a really cool sport. I got to grow up going to those games and see some really cool pieces of real estate. Polo fields are usually on big farms
Beautiful. Yeah.
with really nice landscape, and a lot of polo players own property. Fun fact. So a lot of his friends talked about it, and I kind of overheard that, and subconsciously it like worked its way into my mind when I was younger. So it's kind of how it's turned out.
That's fantastic. I didn't know that there were professional polo players. Like I have no clue.
Oh
That's
yeah.
not even my world I've ever been a part of. So the fact you said
Well,
like, oh, that's pretty darn cool.
I'm trying to spread the game if we can, get more people aware of it. It's a really fun game.
Did you play it growing up?
A little bit, a little bit. I played when I was younger, and it was a level called Pee Wee Polo, which is just the silliest name. But it was fun, and we would go in an arena, and it was just a bunch of little kids learning to ride and hit the ball. So, but once I got older, and the horses started going faster, and I realized that controlling 1,000 pound animal was a little bit scarier than I anticipated. So I ended up going towards different sports.
Nice.
Other
Awesome. Well,
fun.
okay, now that's fantastic. How did you find me and Master Passive Income?
Yeah, so I have a long car ride to and from school, both high school and in college, going back and forth. And during that time, I love to listen to podcasts. And of course, looking at wanting to do real estate. And so I came across your podcast. It was one of the first ones that came up, and I got really sucked in by your charisma in your podcast episodes. And I'm like, oh, this is easy to listen to. This is fun. The duration is like the exact time of my drive. So it ended up being, you know, absolutely perfect for me to get caught in there.
I love it. That's fantastic, man. Okay, so you are invest. Well, do you mind if I ask how old you are?
Sure, I'm 21 years old.
20 years. Okay, so for you listening, he is 21 years old and he already has a duplex. He already just bought a property. He's in now renovating it. It's going to be a short-term and midterm property. He's also closing on another duplex in less than a month. So if you're thinking,
Mm.
and let's say you're 40 years old, oh, I don't know if I could do. Yes, you can. Everybody can do this, right, Sebastian?
Yes, you can.
It's so fantastic. Okay, so you found the podcast. I'm so glad that I have the podcast. I've been doing it for like 10 years. And really, it's just like, how do I help more and more people? And I love listening to podcasts. And so I was like, that's
Mhm.
perfect. And then now we got people like you that are just changing your lives, which is amazing. Now, how did you talk to us about getting that first property? Where is it? How much you paid for it, and all the good stuff about it?
Sure. So getting my first property definitely took me the longest amount of time, mainly because I got what everyone knows as analysis paralysis. What's funny is that the analysis paralysis wasn't of a property, it was of picking a market. It took me a very long time to choose a market that I actually wanted to scale and grow my portfolio in. And the reason for that is because I started in San Antonio, Texas. That's the first place I started looking. And the properties I was looking at, the buy
Where do you currently live
boxes.
now before you move on?
I live in Augusta in Aiken, South Carolina. Right.
Okay,
South
got it.
Carolina.
And then you were looking in San
Was
Antonio
looking in
first.
San
Got it.
Antonio.
Okay.
Yes. And I learned that the soil over there in San Antonio specifically is mainly clay. And so that is not good for foundations. For those of you guys that are know about that. So every property I was looking at in my buy box came with $10,000 of foundation issues, every single one. So I got under contract there, saw that a foundation was bad, had to pull out, kept looking, realized San Antonio, this was a problem everywhere. Then I switched markets. I looked some in Little Rock, Arkansas, I looked some in Birmingham. But then I finally came all the way home to 30 minutes away from where I live in Augusta, Georgia. And I realized that what I was looking for has been right here all this time. It's a great market. It's got Fort Gordon. It's got the Masters. It's got three universities. It's got huge medical center. It's got a cybersecurity center. It's a growing market. And it's the place where I managed to find my first duplex. And
Have you been to the Masters?
I got the opportunity to go once. It was really cool. It was
Oh
really,
man,
really cool.
that's so good. I love it. I love it. I've been a fan of the Masters, not for a very long time. I played golf my whole life, but then recently, last couple of years, been getting more because I have good friends that we go golf trips for like
Hmm.
5 days and play amazing courses, and
Oh,
they
so
love watching
nice.
the Masters. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I just
so
got into golf.
yeah, so they got me into it. But if you had an Airbnb there, you can make your entire year's mortgage in like 5 days, 10 days, or something like
Hmm.
that. Talk to us a little bit
Yeah.
more about that market because you had the analysis paralysis in the market. It's great you found that, but tell us a little bit more about how that has really helped you and like your plans for this market.
Sure. So with this market, what I want to do is I want to have some long-term properties, which is going to be my duplex, and then hopefully that second duplex that I'm closing on next month. But I also want to have one or two short-term, mid-term properties. And the idea for those is that in this market, you have a lot of traveling medical professionals who are going to stay 1 month, 3 month, 6 months at a time. And then you also have that great block in April of the Masters where you can get really great rates. I mean, covering multiple months of mortgage in a week. Sometimes for sure you can get your whole year covered. So that's a great attraction for me. But I didn't, when I was calculating my numbers, I did not fall for what they called master's dependency. And that would be, it's a localized term. It's where if the master's wasn't here, would that property still work short term? And that is what I still calculated. And yes, this property that I have now is still going to work short term, regardless of having masters or not. So the masters is just a great bonus. And I would say if anyone wants to do short term, midterm, Augusta, Georgia is a great market for
How big, and I want to go into more about the properties too, but I'm curious about since you've done a lot of research and Charles is your coach, right?
it.
If I correct me if I'm wrong.
My coach is, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name?
Oh, it's Jeremy.
What's the Civic? Jeremy,
Jeremy,
yeah,
yeah,
Jeremy
sorry,
Pusey.
sorry.
I was blanking on his name.
I was trying to figure out. I was like, was Charles your coach? Charles is one that
No,
pointed.
it's
Hey, have you
Jeremy.
heard about what Sebastian? Oh, it was. That's right. Now I'm just piecing
Yeah.
everything together. It was on the call that I wasn't able to be on, and Charles is like, "Hey, you
Mhm.
got to listen." Anyways, long story short, I was like, "How is this?" Okay, now getting in the Augusta market now. Getting a property, it seems like they're probably pretty pricey, but I like that you've protected yourself. You know, the dependency on the masters. Like, what happens if God forbid something happened and it's no
Yeah.
longer, and then you can't afford that, which would be terrible. How far outside of Augusta do people need places that they would like, 5 miles out, 10 miles out, or something like that? Or is it just like or all around the
Oh
property
no,
itself?
you can go almost up to an hour out from the Masters, and you really see short-term rental spike. Like my parents have an Airbnb in Aiken, South Carolina. It's about 45 minutes away from the Masters, and they still almost triple their nightly rates, and they're 45 minutes away. I mean, there's so many people coming that um, there's housing that'll work. It does not have to be super local,
Love it,
so
love
you
it.
can get you
And
can
what
get
are
rental.
what are long-term rates that you're finding there?
So I will say, single family homes in Augusta, Georgia are pretty tough to pass the 1% rule. I looked for a lot of them, and it's really tough to find, even at like, 20,000, 30,000 less than asking. It's tough. And so that is what led me to the duplexes, is that the duplexes, now those will comfortably pass the 1% rule, and you can find those a lot more easily than you can a single family home here, for
Got
sure.
it. Okay.
Unless you want to short term it, because then you have much higher income.
But it's much smarter to make sure that you're covering the downside. If you're buying a property, the only way I can make money if it's short term. Well, what if you can't do a short term? I'll give you a quick example. There's a property that some people that I know here in Nashville, they're going to be buying it's probably like $1.1 million for this one fourplex here in Nashville. Nashville is a high desirable short term market, and
Hmm.
they're wanting me to be an investor in it. I'm like, I'm looking at the entire deal. Really wanted to. I was like, this is my backyard. It'd be great to do it. Really wanted to, but then I realized they were way overpaying for the property, and the best case scenario for the most money to foot your bill for your mortgage and all that sort of stuff, it was not even doing well as a short term. Meaning,
Ooh,
it was a short term property, and the rents were so low. I was like, this is not good. Like,
wow.
you would not make it if you did short term,
Yeah.
let alone long term. Like, we have no outs here. So I'm really, really glad. Now, how did you find the duplex, the first duplex, and then what was the price point? How much is it renting for?
Sure. So the first duplex I found, I was looking at filtering through multifamilies on Zillow, and I found this one, and it was asking just over 200,000. And I was like, maybe I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe when it comes down some, I can put in an offer that they'll go for. And one unit needed rehab, and then the other unit was currently being rented. And so and then eventually, a couple months later, I was still looking. I was like I should have a property by now. And I finally come back to this, and I see now it's asking 189. So it's down where I can make an offer. So I offer 156,000 on it, and they counter back at 175. Oh, that's closer. I was trying to get it for 170. That's the number I put in. So then I countered again, 165, and then they said 171 final offer, and I said deal. Like that felt like a win. And so we got that tenant's still there. She's going to renew her lease, which is great. She's been a great tenant. And that rent for the one unit is 1,050 a month. And my paint, which is actually under market, a good bit, by the way. So that will be slowly raised up and stabilized, but not all at once, of course. And the other unit, which is currently vacant, is being rehabbed. The total payment and interest with the taxes, insurance, and mortgage is $980 on that property. So
For the one tenant.
the one tenant is
Yeah.
totally covering all the mortgage while I'm doing this rehab, which is
Ooh.
awesome. It's one of the big upsides of multifamily and duplexes is I can do this rehab and not be losing $1,000 a month. So that's really exciting. And it's going to cash flow once I get the tenant in the bottom one. We're going to list it for 850. Talk to the property managers. So that 850 is basically going to be cash flow
Whew.
because it's going to be good.
I love it. Now,
Yeah.
who do you have managing the property?
I have a local property management company. They're the predominant property management company in Augusta. They're called Keyway Property Management. They've been great so far, and I have a wonderful lady named Christina. She's done great, and we'll be getting everything we need done. And she's been really awesome.
Did you say Keyway, like
Yep.
Key-Y? Keyway. Got it.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. Now, are you currently working on the top unit?
Yes. So the top unit's actually the one that is currently leased, and then the
Okay.
bottom unit is the one that is getting renovated right now.
Interesting, because you would think people want well, okay, it needs to be renovated, but like, a lot of people don't like stairs, and so they're like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't want to be on the top floor.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
So
how long? Go ahead.
sorry, interesting thing about this property is that it's on a big hill on a corner lot. So the top unit is ground level, and I think it's a 3-1, and that's the one being leased. But then because of the grade of the land, the bottom unit is also actually ground level. It's just looking out backwards the other way from the entrance to the top unit, and so that is a two-bed, one bath down there, and that is getting renovated right now. So it
Man, that's
won't be,
fantastic.
yeah.
That's great. So, now you have this duplex, and you have a property that you're going to be turning in. So you have this property now. Talk to us about this next the property you have. This going to be a short-term, midterm property.
Yeah, so I'm actually we're recording from it right now. I'm inside it. I just got the Wi-Fi set up just in time for this. So it's perfect. It actually came furnished, and the seller, he had amazing numbers on it when he sent it to me. He's like, this is giving, it generated over 30,000 revenue last year. Expenses were like 11,000. It was a crazy, crazy return. I was like, why are you selling such a great asset? And he said he had one bad experience with the final renter, and he wanted to get out of it and 1091 into the Atlanta market because he's a realtor in Atlanta. And so he says, "I'll give you this deal. We're asking 125,000 for it, as is, fully furnished, new roof, new HVAC, new plumbing, new appliances, like totally ready to go." And for 125, with the numbers that he proved to me, he showed me the Airbnb numbers from the last couple of years, and I said, "On a deal. I'll just I'll get a couple more things in there, like replace a bed or two, add some appliances, nothing major, do some landscaping, and just take over his
Was
systems
it
and
on the
operations."
MLS?
It was. And my realtor that I've been working with was actually listing it. So he showed it to me. He's like, "Hey, this is, I know you want some short term. This is one that's proven and is not asking very much." And
Now, did you negotiate that you also get that listing on Airbnb that you could transfer it over to you?
so we talked about that, and we didn't, or he didn't think there was a way
There
for the
is.
lit
Don't so
review. There
pause.
is? No
100%.
way.
Get on it right away. And now check the reviews. Like if it's garbage
Okay.
reviews and everything like that,
No,
then
they were good.
no, they're
They
good.
were good
Yes,
reviews.
that's a valuable asset. You must jump on that right now.
Oh my
There's an
gosh.
easy way. You even just chat GPT or AI, say, how do you transfer a property from one to another? It'll give you, it's like literally like 3 or 4 steps. It's not hard at
Oh,
all.
that'd be huge.
Do
Okay.
that right away. 100%. As soon as we get
Yeah,
off this
I'm
call,
going
go
to.
right and say, hey man, I know we can change it over. Let's get that changed over, because that's a big asset for you.
Yeah, yeah. No, he had great reviews, and I was like, "Oh, I'm starting over from scratch with reviews, but that's great property." No, I had no idea. I will definitely get on that.
And I want to pause for a quick second and share that honestly, I really want you to invest in real estate. Now, my new goal is to help 1 million people invest in real estate. So, two things I would ask from you. Number one, if you get anything out of this episode, please share it with somebody else. Just say, hey, check out Dustin and Master Passive Income. He really wants to help 1 million people to invest in real estate. That's number one. Number two, I want to get you to invest in real estate. Get my real estate investing course absolutely for free. Text the word rental, RENTAL, to 33777. Rental to 33777. I'll literally give you my course, show you how to find an area of the country to invest, how to build the business first. I always talk about that, and how to find the right properties, how to make sure you're getting experts to do the work for you, and scale the business to where you're making $250 or more in passive income. Scale it to quit your job. I'll literally get to you, or go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Obviously, it'll be in the description, but I really, really want you to invest in real estate, because the more that actual normal everyday people own real estate, the better everybody's life gets. How long ago did you close?
Oh, I closed on, I think, the 16th, so like 10 days ago, 9
Oh
days
my
ago.
goodness. Yeah, he should be able to easily help you out. He shouldn't be a jerk and say, no, I'm not going to give it to you.
No,
That
no, no,
would be
he's great.
stupid. Okay, cool.
No, he's
Good,
great.
good. That's exciting. If it was great reviews too, you're going to get cash flow
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Oh, I
That's,
already got a 20-day booking
oh,
for it. So that's
what's
why we're
up?
jumping on furnishing. We're
Dude,
jumping on getting
Sebastian, that's
everything
so
ready.
good. Okay, now you have your next property. That is
Mhm.
the oh no, I had a question before I want to jump to the next property. It's the new duplex. You're going to be closed on the 17th of July. Um, you said a midterm, short-term strategy. Explain what that means or what you are going to be doing.
Sure, sure. So I actually got this from the previous owner of this single family property here, and he had a lot of success renting short term, of course, for the Masters, and then after the Masters, he would make the minimum nightly stay be a week to 2 weeks, and he was looking for those longer stays heading in to the winter. And so he would get, because of the positioning of this property, he would get um, month, 3 month, 6 month stays from traveling medical professionals, from the military, and then that would get into the winter, which is the slow season for short terms here. And so then when he gets back into the spring, then it becomes a short term, 3 night stays, masters, and then he does the cycle again. So for the first quarter of the year, he would short term it like 3 night stays, and then for the rest, it would be function as a midterm, which
Man,
is keeps his occupancy super high.
that's brilliant. Absolutely. Especially when you have seasonality. You
Hmm.
could keep it,
Yeah,
let's say 10 days a month rented at short term, but why do that? I personally
sure.
love midterm. Short terms, honestly, they're I'm going to say this, they're overrated. They're overrated because there's so
Yeah.
much work you got to do. You
Hmm.
make a little bit more money, which is fine, but midterm is perfect. Long term, I love long term because I don't do
Of
anything. I just
course.
keep getting money coming in. But midterm is great. But if you have that strategy, that's why I wanted you to explain it. It's brilliant because you're going to have seasonality in the year for each and every short-term property you have. In the ones that get very low occupancy for short term, put that to a midterm then. Have the minimum stay be longer. So I love that. Good,
Exactly.
good. And here's the great thing: if you get that listing from this the seller, you're
Mhm.
also you should be able to see all the back history of how it is rented and all that sort of stuff to give
Oh,
you
cool.
more data, so you can figure out how best to market it.
Awesome. No, I love that. And the biggest thing to combat with short-term rentals is just you have lower occupancy. That's the
Yep.
one of the cons of short term. So if we can work out a strategy that like we have to where it will keep that occupancy above 90%, he ran it at 93%, then that's just phenomenal. And that's why this property makes the return that it does.
Oh, I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Okay, so now we're getting another duplex, same area.
We
Like, tell us
are.
about this one.
Yeah, so this duplex is actually in a part of Augusta called Harrisburg, and it's very close to the medical district, but it is a traditionally lower income part of town, but it's seeing more investment and money getting pumped into it. And a local contractor and property manager here who's been great. He's been like a coach to me. He has 6 properties in this town called Harrisburg, and he
I'm looking at a
says
map right
that
now, so keep talking. I'm just looking
yeah,
at it.
yeah, it's going to be the next medical district in Augusta, and there's more and more money is getting pumped into it. So he told me to get in now while you can, while the prices are inexpensive. And I think that I totally see what he's seeing. Um, and they were asking 122 for this duplex, and each side is one bed, one bath, so it's smaller. And the projected rent is 850 on each side. So that's 1,700 total, and they're asking 122. And so I offered, I think we ended up agreeing upon 112. So got it for 112,000, 20% down, and it's going to rent for 1,700. So it's going to cash flow around $500, which is really good, and that's what I'm looking for an inexpensive
Oh
duplex.
my,
And then I think
wait,
the go
is
ahead.
uh is Augusta the golf course like right by there?
There's the country club, which is more right by there. The National is a little bit more
I
northwest.
see it now. Now I'm seeing it. I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
dude, Augusta's like you could throw a rock. It
yeah.
seems like and hit it from
No,
Harrisburg.
but it's true. There, Harrisburg does butt right up against the National too, and so that's part of the reason they're putting more money into the area. And so if you
Hmm.
can get in now and get these houses at affordable prices, I mean, you're starting out with great cash flow there.
And I don't see Augusta, the Masters, slowing down at all, being like, oh, people are starting, they're not watching it anymore, whatever. No, no, it's like almost even picking up steam, it seems like.
Oh yes, it's great. It's definitely the main attraction, what people think of Augusta. So it's
So
good to get in.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I don't think anybody would know of Augusta if it wasn't for
Yeah,
how,
that's very true.
yeah, like nobody would think of it. And what's great about it, if you watch anything of Augusta and see clips or something, you see how beautiful the course is and how it
Hmm.
changes and all that stuff. Like every hole is different, challenging and good, and it's really really cool. But then you look at the rest of the city, it looks like a normal city. At
Yeah,
first you're like, Augusta, when you know Masters and you know how big it is and how everything gets rented out for that week, and
yeah.
there's like millions of people that apply for it, and only like thousands
Hmm.
get it. You'd think it'd be like at this huge. No, it's at just a normal type of
Yeah,
town.
I will say that Augusta, as a market, it is growing west. So if you're an appreciation focused investor and a little bit less cash flow right now, I would look in um, West Augusta, in Evans, and in
I see Evans. Okay, that's a little
Grovetown.
northwest. Yeah.
Evans and Grovetown. So
Oh, I see
Augusta's
Grovetown. Yeah.
moving west. Yeah, the money's moving west. They're developing west. Those properties are nicer. They're more expensive, so you won't have as much cash flow, but they're appreciating like crazy.
Got it.
And that while that is not how we're looking for cash flow. I'm looking for cash flow, not as much appreciation right now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking in the more established, older areas where I can still get good deals and the properties are still quality and gonna appreciate. But if you
Yeah.
were had a different strategy, then that's where I would look.
Well, as you become get longer and longer experience or more experience as an
Hmm.
investor, and you have a large portfolio, then you expand outside of that. Like when you don't have to work a job anymore, then you
Yeah.
expand to, hey, maybe I'm just going to buy this just as a tax avoidance play, avoidance, but like
Mm.
legally tax avoidance, because man,
Yeah.
I could buy this property, I could write off a ton of taxes. Of course, I'm going to do that. It's so
Yeah.
yeah, your strategy grows, but right now, 100%. Let's get you so we don't have to work a job ever again, and
Yeah.
then we change the strategy.
Yes, that sounds like a great idea. I'll
Yeah,
keep
and
getting on it.
that's something at Master Passive Income I've been working on very diligently, trying to figure out a roadmap for investors. And I've got it figured out, meaning I know the roadmap every single investor goes on and the journey that we all take as investors. So first it starts at the foundation. You need to have a strong foundation, just like a building, but you also need your business to have a strong foundation to where it can grow and scale without you and make you money. Then we accelerate. So from foundation, you start accelerating. We start getting
Mhm.
faster, buying properties faster. And then we go to liberation, where the end goal after liberation is to become financially independent. And then we
Mhm.
get into sovereignty. So I'll quickly walk through it one more time. Foundation
Please.
leads into acceleration. You start
Yeah.
scaling, get buying properties faster and faster and faster. Liberation, you get to where you have financial freedom. You stabilize all your properties so you have income where you don't have to worry about your job. And then we get into
Mhm.
sovereignty, where that's when we start buying large apartment complexes, and that's
Yeah.
where we start, really going after, hey,
Can't
how do I
wait.
get out of paying taxes?
Yeah. No, I look forward to getting into. I do want to get into apartments and bigger multifamily and some commercial, but I know I need to start on the single family and work my way up and gain the momentum, gain the capital, and then I can get in on those bigger deals. But I
You're
do definitely want to work towards there.
you're doing 100% the right way. I've seen so many people, not, yeah, it's not that they completely fail when they go right into, let's say, 15, 20, 100 unit apartment complexes, because there are people that do that, but they don't get financial independence. In fact, there was one
Yeah.
lady that I interviewed on this show. It might have been successful employed, but anyways, she had 3,000 units that she was a
Oh
part of, like
wow.
she said she owns. Yeah, that's the initial thought. I thought the same thing,
Yeah.
3,000. But then I also am thinking from my like investor mindset, from like search engine optimization, or like, looking at YouTube, 3,000. Oh, wow, let's click on that because they have 3,000. But I
Yeah.
just know as an investor, if they don't invest in single family homes, more than likely they're not getting cash flow enough to where they don't have to work a job. So I asked her, this was after the interview. I didn't want to put her on the spot. After the interview, I said, oh, man, so you have 3,000. I know the answer. So I'll say that right now. I know the
Yeah.
answer. I'm
Yeah.
just
Of
waiting for
course.
it. Hey, so how long have you been financially independent? She's like, I'm not. I still got to work a job. I'm like, wait, you have 3,000 headaches and you still have to work a job? Like, what this? So I'm telling you, you're going the 100% right way, because in the
Yeah.
end, you have so many more, like the multifamily is fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
But all the people that go into multifamily, they wish they were in my position where I didn't have to even think about it. Like I don't have to buy real estate. I already have it. That's making me money with multifamily. What they do is they get into a property, they call it syndication, they get other people to invest with them, and they flip apartments. Like that's their goal is to
Yeah, yeah.
make it more and sell it. Well, they have to get the next property because they can't eat unless they get that next property because they don't have
It's
automatic
true.
money come in. So you're
Yeah.
100% down the right path. Now, what's in the next, give me your next 5 years might be a little long, and I don't want to do a year. Let's say 3 years. In the next 3 years, what is your goal for the next? No, let me condense it a little. No, let's do 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
trying to think through how best to word this. 3 years. In your next 3 years, where would you like to see yourself? Goal, not like, oh, I think I
Sure.
can. What's your goal?
Sure. So my goal is I should be graduating college next year, and I want to start house hacking then. So I would like to maybe purchase a triplex or maybe a quad. I'd like to go bigger than a duplex just because covering the mortgage is really important, of course. And so I'd like to start house hacking out of college and then continue to try to buy a couple properties every year using my working income from whatever job I will have coming out of college. I wish I could tell you what that would be, but my plan is to continue to scale and then I would like to be, I would like to have the option to quit my job within 5 years of finishing college for sure. And now that doesn't mean that I won't love my job or I won't want to go
You have the
start
option.
another company. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just would like the option by that time.
Well, if where you're at now, I could easily see. Well, I'll give you an example. Like Charles Rose Jr., he quit his, or he had enough money to be able to quit his job. I think it was like 5 years, four into 5 years.
It's
And
about
so
the goal.
you're
Yeah.
starting faster than he did, which is great. And so if you keep the momentum, you keep moving forward, and we always figure out a way to do it. And having a coach always helps because obviously you
Yes.
have me,
Oh,
you have Jeremy, your coach
yeah.
too,
Jeremy's been
give you,
huge.
yeah, yeah, fantastic. I love that guy. I've been friends with him for 25 years. Anyways, but we just keep growing and keep going. Now, here's my thought for you is, and this is something we do at the inner circle. Have you
Mhm.
heard about my inner circle that we have, the
I
mastermind?
have, and I've heard about the application, and I've thought about seeing what that application consisted of.
You
I
should
can't
do
lie.
it. You should definitely apply. I think knowing that you're on the show and everything we talked about, you're in a much better position to after you apply. Like you, from this interview alone, I'm like you'd be a great fit. Um, but at the mastermind, we think different. Not would say that's the wrong way to say it. Not think differently. We try to help us reach our goals faster and more
Yeah.
efficiently and even better. And so, give you one example. This last mastermind that we just put in or just had is okay. You have your goal in 3 years. Let's just say your goal is to be financially independent in 3 years, and
Mhm.
then you're like, okay, I want to have the option to not work, but I need this amount of properties. Here's a thought for you, and this is like I said at the mastermind, what I
Sure.
coached everybody, and they were like their minds were like opened up, like, oh yes, that's
Uh,
right. So let's say it's going to be 3 years. In 3 years, you want to
sure.
get there. There's a I don't know the principle that I need to come up with it, or I need to refine the name of it. But basically, however long you give a task, duration of
Yeah.
time, however long you get
Time
it, that's how
horizon.
long it's going to take.
Ah, it's true. Got to give an end date to the goal.
Exactly. So if you give it 3 years, it's going
Hmm.
to take you 3 years because it's going to fill up that time. You just, I mean, hey, I got to cut my lawn. Okay, I have a week to do it. It's going to be at the very end. It's going to take the very end. It's not going to
Yeah,
be like
yeah.
right. And so,
Hmm.
if that's a principle, which we know it is, everybody kind of gets, we understand it inherently. That yeah, I kind of put off things, and then eventually, once it comes due, we're like, hey, I got really got to do it. And so the thought is, well, why don't we accelerate the time frame? So if it's 3 years, what if we cut it in half? In a year and a half, what would it take for you to get what you want in 3 years, cut it in half to a year and a half? And now here's another thought. So bring that, so condense the time frame. If you just did that and condense the time frame and you just keep going your same path, it's probably not going to
Hmm.
work out very well. But what you do is you analyze your in 3 years, you have X, Y, and Z things that you think you must do. You know, like I have to do this, then I have to
Yeah.
do this, then I have to do this. You've already kind of
Hmm.
planned it out in 3 years. If you condense that to a year and a half, a lot of those things are not going to either be possible because you don't have the time to do
Hmm.
it, or it's just not necessary. And it makes you find better ways to accomplish that as opposed to I got 3 years, then X,
Oh,
Y, and Z.
sure. Yeah,
Is this
yeah.
making sense?
Forcing. Yeah, it's like forcing efficiency. I mean, if you shorten the time horizon to a period where you add that pressure to yourself and add that expectation, for I guess a better word, um, then that will for sure, I think, be more beneficial and get me there faster and get
It,
anyone there faster.
it would. And you also remove steps that are not necessary.
Yes. Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
give
yeah.
you, and I'm not telling you to do this, but let me give you a quick example of what that could be. Let's say there's somebody who in 40 years, their end goal, their life's goal is to own a polo team, like or whatever. Are there
Mhm.
teams or is it individuals?
It's they call them clubs, but yeah, polo
Okay.
clubs on a polo
Okay.
club.
They want to own a polo club, but for people who are not in the polo, just say a basketball franchise or
Sure.
a football, like they want to own a professional football team. If that's their goal and they're in high school or college now, that said, by the time I die, I want to to own one of those. And then they get asked the question, well, what are the steps that you need? Well, first I got to graduate college, then I have to get a good job, then I have to meet the right people, and then I got to save money, then I invest well. And they put all these things that they already perceive in front of them, which is not bad, but they could get there eventually. But if you ask them, okay, so what if you cut that timeline not in half from 40 years to 20? Let's say you needed to do it in 5 years. Could you do that in 5 years? Well, we know it would be hard, number one, but is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. But those things that you already put in, the steps that you think you've already put in there, you
Yeah.
can't finish those. Like it's not even for you to quit, to
Yeah, it's
graduate
totally true.
college, then get a job,
Hmm.
then say make smart investments, then you just don't have the time to do it. But it is possible. People have done it. Quick example would be stop going to college. Not saying you should do this again. Don't not saying you should do this,
No,
but
sure.
like because we don't have the time. But let's get around billionaires. Get around billionaires who have the capacity that wasn't even on your radar, this person's radar in the beginning. Like get around billionaires and get around them, help them out in whatever that you get to be their best friend, and so you grow faster and you take out needless steps. So hopefully, I'm condensing an entire day's worth of coaching all into one, like 10 minutes or
No, I'm
5 minutes.
absorbing. I'm a
Is this
sponge
making
right now.
sense?
Yes, I'm totally absorbing all of it. And I would say that in order to do it in the fastest amount of time possible in general, I don't know if it wasn't for college baseball, which is the main reason I go to college. Um, yeah, I would probably just be working in real estate immediately. Because I mean, you don't need some fancy degree to do real estate stuff. You just need to know basic market analysis and math and obviously communication skills. But I think that that's a really good point, a really good idea, and I think that I personally can probably shorten that time horizon. It's easy to say, "Oh, I think it's taken me this long to start. I think it'll probably take me the same amount of time, so I should give myself 5 years." But no, as you said from you when you talked about that pathway, it gets faster. You scale faster, and so you can condense that,
I love
and
it.
that
And
makes a lot of sense.
I'll give you, so you have one more year of college, right?
Hmm.
So 100%, if I were in your shoes, I would say finish out the year. You're almost there.
Hmm.
College baseball, like if you're playing, for some reason my Zoom is giving
Yeah.
a thumbs up or whatever. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing the thumbs up. I just gave a thumbs up. Anyways, it's funny. So I think if you're playing college baseball, you only have a limited time to do that. If you enjoy it, and
Yeah. No, I love it.
I love sports. I played football. I played baseball when I was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I played on a softball team, like a church softball
Oh,
team, which was a
awesome.
lot of fun, and
Yeah.
it was a blast. I was playing third base with those balls coming like right at your face so fast. And
Woo. The
so
scary position in softball.
exactly. So my suggestion is enjoy it. Enjoy it. You have plenty of time, and then invest as you go. I'm not saying you should cut it from 3 years to bring it down. Just giving you a broad perspective, so that in the future, when you're like, okay, let me start thinking and planning, that at least has a little bit of context in your head of like how to maybe do things differently. That's the number one thing. Is like let's get out of what we currently know and
Hmm.
think, and just try to think differently, because in the end, what we're looking at, we have our own frame of reference. Somebody else's frame of reference would be totally different. Maybe somebody has
Yeah.
already accomplished everything. They say, oh yeah, this step and this step, you don't need to pull them out, do something else. Is this making sense?
Yeah, sure. Circling back to that 3-year goal that you mentioned, I totally totally forgot to mention one of the main reasons I also wanted to get into real estate while I was in college and not waiting until after college is because I'm hoping and trying my best to get drafted by a professional baseball team. And when you're in the minor leagues, you are paid nothing. I mean, I
Yes.
mean, it's like $10,000 salary a year. And so I was hoping to try to get these properties cash flowing and built up so that when I'm working my way through the minor leagues, like I said, hopefully there's no guarantee this happens. Um, I will have some sort of financial engine helping me while I'm trying to pursue a baseball career. And so it's like it would be like working another job while having real estate on the back burner. So I tried to start it early and while I'm still in school to have that ready on time.
Sebastian, that is so smart. I love it. And then you have another year. I honestly, as fast as, don't say fast, as well as you are moving now, because fast has a connotation of like it's too fast. It could be too fast or whatever,
Hmm.
but you're moving very well now. In this next year, I would love to have you come back on and you say, "Hey, now I have six properties or seven. Like I've almost doubled in a year. And then now, hopefully, you're going into the minors and you're moving
Hmm.
forward, and you have that cash flow coming in, and you
Yeah.
already have the systems built that you can just continually buy more properties, and
Hmm.
you're already doing that, and then you get into the pros, and then we we have a pro
That
baseball player on the show.
would be really cool. Let's count on that. Hold me to it. How about
There
that?
we go.
So I've had some teammates and some friends who have seen what I'm doing with real estate investing, and they want to join in. And they're seeing some of the success, they're seeing the setbacks, and they are curious, and they've talked about wanting to invest with me. But what I've told them is that sounds super exciting. I'd love to invest with you. Like that's something I want to explore in the future. But for now, I need to get my feet under me. I need to get my initial properties. I need to learn. I've learned so much. I've probably pulled out of 4 or 5 contracts before I got my first property. Like I've learned, I've had a learning budget is what we'll call it. I've had a learning budget, and I want to make sure that when I'm investing with somebody else, especially someone young, I know what I'm doing and that I can help make a successful partnership for them. But I don't currently have any experience with it yet.
So
Uh,
the first thing for you listening, I want you to hear what Sebastian was saying is that people know that he's an investor and they're talking to him because a lot of people say, "Well, Dustin, how do I find people that want to invest in with me in deals? Like I need to find private money." Well, if you don't tell anybody, if nobody knows that you're investing, if they only know that you are a teacher at a school and that's all you do, then they're not going to know to even ask you about that. So, Sebastian,
so
great
true.
job on sharing with other people because that's the first thing that I try. I had to change myself, but then I also point to my students is
Hmm.
stop thinking that you're an employee of a job and telling people that's what you are. No, you project out to the world what you want them to know. So the first thing I always say is I'm an investor. I invest in real
Yeah,
estate. And so when you do that, either one of two things happens. One, they're like, "Oh, that's good for you," and then they kind of move on, which is fine because it's not for
yeah,
them. Other ones are like, "Oh, can you tell me more about that?" Which is a perfect door for you to help them, to coach them if you that's something you want to do, or even then invest in your deals. Now, for you, Sebastian, I think it's a great idea. Obviously, well, here's what I did. But obviously, keeping a list of names of all the people that have ever
yes.
talked to you about potentially wanting to invest with
Hmm.
you, those could be potential amazing investors in your deals with you, especially
For
when you get to
sure.
large complexes. So, number one, whatever you take system, you take notes, keep
Hmm.
a note, a list of all their information and
Gotcha.
stuff. So you can reach out to them when you go. Cause when I was getting my first, what, 30 million plus apartment complex, I was like, oh shoot, I don't really, I got to reach out to people. And I just had already had my
Yeah.
list. So I just started reaching out to the people that were on the list and they want to,
Oh, there you go.
yeah. So that's number one.
Yeah.
Keep all them. Let
Okay.
me a couple more things I want to share before I want you
Sure.
to chime in. Another thing is because you were thinking I'm not a big fan of partnerships in general, but there are some partnerships that work out really, really well. But at the
Hmm.
same time, when you do a partnership, then things can go negatively, as we know, partnerships can. But how
Yeah.
much better would it be is if you had somebody be the money partner and then you
Yeah.
are the muscle, you're the and so you're
Sure. The
50-50.
experience.
Correct.
Hmm.
Correct. So that's a good partnership. If you have somebody that's, let's say you have a wealthy uncle that's like, "Hey, I want to invest with you, but I don't want to do any of the work." And you say, "Man, that's great. I'll do all the work. I get 50%, you get 50% because you're all the money." And that's a great partnership doing that. But another way is saying, "How about I give you a great return on a loan So not a partnership, but you're loaning
Okay.
me the money where you would normally get, let's say, 1% to maybe
Hmm.
3% at best at a bank. Well, how about I give you 8% return on that
Oh, wow.
money, which you're going to be, it's going to be great for you and it's secured by
Yeah.
the property and all that sort of. So those are a couple different ideas. But at the same time, here's one quick last thing. So Sebastian, just think of this. You know where I am in my investing journey and that roadmap I was talking about. I'm
Yeah.
I'm like, further on down the line than you,
Sure.
but you're not starting at the very beginning. You have properties now. There are people behind you that could benefit from your help. You could give them pointers, you can give them suggestions, and even oh, shoot, even I'll even send you some of my books. You can just give it to them for free. Just say, hey,
Oh, I'd love
here's
to.
yeah, here's
They'd
a
be
great
super
way.
lucky.
Yeah, I would
Sure.
love to do that. But we always want to look back and help anybody that's behind us because you never know what's going to happen with them that could benefit you in the future. And at the same time, you feel fantastic helping other people. It just makes you
Yeah.
feel better. So, anyways, that's
Uh,
that's a lot to share. But what are your thoughts?
Oh, so it's funny you mentioned two of those things because I've had recent experience with both. One, I have a best friend, lifelong friend, grew up with the kid. And he is going to come into some money when he turns 25. And what he wants to do is he wants to invest an amount of that money into real estate, and he doesn't know how. He doesn't have any experience. He doesn't know who to go to. And so, because you told me, and remember listening to that podcast where you said, "Tell people you are a real estate investor." Once I heard that, I put it in my Instagram bio and I posted a photo of my first duplex I got. And then he ended up reaching out and we talked about how maybe when he comes into it, I can invest that money for him. And maybe I keep a percentage of the income, or like you said, treat it as like a bank and give him an 8% return. So we already have some sort of plan that we're going to talk about in the future for that. And then on the other note, I had a teammate and he also wants to get into real estate, but he's in the earlier stage. And so he's just learning. And so we have mandatory study hall at our school for baseball that we have to have. And so we spent, I mean, a couple hours of these study halls. I just spent talking to him about real estate strategy and like stuff from the course. I walked him through some of the course. Hope you don't mind.
Not at all.
And he got super excited by that. And so I've been wanting to continue to help him through just the learning process.
Love
So
it, love it.
that's
I'll
great.
definitely send you some books. Send you some books so you can just give it whoever. Just go ahead and give them out to
Yeah.
people. That's the number one reason why I wrote the book. In fact, I wrote the book because I was just coaching people for free back in, I don't know, 2015 or something like that, and just
Mhm.
helping friends and family members. And then I realized, and you're probably getting this too. Everybody's got questions. They're great questions, but they're beginner questions. Like they're just like that
Sure.
we've
Yeah.
already like you and I like we've already gone past that, but they all have the same questions. And so I was like, let me just write a book that answers all the beginner questions, so I can just give that out to everybody. And
It's a
then
good
when they have
idea.
exactly, and when they have questions that fit them, that fit their
Mhm.
finances or goals and risk tolerances, then I can help them beyond that. And that's really
Mhm.
the catalyst for everything with master passive income.
Sure. No, that's a phenomenal way to outreach, especially because people, when they have those basic questions, if there's not some easy solution to finding that, and this is most people, of course, there's people that will like dig deeper, but a lot of them are like, might not be for me. And then they don't go down that path and they lose out on a huge opportunity that could change their life. So that's really cool that you send that out.
Awesome, Sebastian. This has been fantastic. Now, any we're not signing off yet, but I want to know any roadblocks, hurdles, other than because you touched on the analysis paralysis on location, but
For
any other big lessons that you want to share with everybody?
There's one piece of advice I could give you guys. It's that you need to have a learning budget. Now, that sounds scary. You have to budget for something that's more money or time. Yes, it is. You will be investing either your money or time up front so that you avoid big, costly, expensive mistakes that can happen if you don't know what you're doing. So you're actually saving an unrealized amount of money by having this upfront budget instead of realizing it multiple times over in the future through mistakes. So the best way to start with a learning budget is either a financial budget or a time budget. And you can do both. I actually went with both, but a time budget would be consuming podcast content, watching YouTube. Multiple YouTubers are great out there for real estate. Same with podcasters. Reading some books. That takes a lot of time, a little bit of money, but mainly more time. A lot of good books out there too on real estate. Or you can take the financial route, and that would be to take a course, for example, or pay for someone to mentor you. I chose to take a course, and I learned so much. Jeremy Pusey was great. He's my mentor. He made sure that I stayed out of troublesome deals, and he showed me things that weren't going to work out that I thought were and why. That's super valuable information, and it really made sure that I built the business the right way. Like I said, it's super important to have this. It doesn't have to be huge, but you need to make sure you know what you're doing because it's easy to get all rah, super excited about real estate. I can definitely attest to that. But you need to educate yourself first because I'll repeat it again. The only way to lose money in real estate is if you don't know what you're doing. So education up front is super important. And then you can even share that with others like we are now. So it's a great reason.
Fantastic point. And I love your idea or your thought, like not putting in enough offers. Every single student, that is the number one thing that is holding them back from actually getting properties.
And that's
Whenever
controllable.
They say, yeah,
You control that.
And so what we get is students saying, I'm not getting any deals. First question we always ask every coach, how many offers have you put in? Not this month, even this week, even today. How many offers did you put in today? And usually, well, this month I probably put in 3 offers. I'm like, well, that's probably why you're not getting deals because we don't pay market value. You could easily pay market value and you're going to be losing money. But what you want to do is not lose money. And what we're going to do is put in lots of offers. It'd be like playing baseball. I like an analogy of baseball. You're like, man, I'm not getting any hits. I'm not getting any hits. Well, how many times were you up to bat? Like 1, 2, or 3. Like, okay, in the last month,
Of course not.
yeah, you went up to bat 3 times in a month. Like you're not even giving your chance to get a swing and hit the ball. And so that's a big thing. And so one thing I love to do as coach to students is like, how do we put in lots of offers? Because that's usually a roadblock. How do we put in lots of offers? I have one realtor, and anyways, we cover all that stuff in the coaching. But Sebastian, this has been awesome. I want people to. Do you mind sharing like your Instagram? Because as you become a professional baseball player, that they can start following you now.
Yeah. So I'm available on Instagram at Sebastian Neve. And that is for sure my main page. And
wait, hold on. Say it a little, like maybe spell it out just so people don't.
Sure. Yeah. Sebastian spelled Sebastian. And then my last name is Neve, Neave. And I'm playing Division I baseball at Queen's University of Charlotte by Charles Rose Jr. And hopefully I'll be on to the next level and continuing to invest with you guys and get back on the show and share and hope people can continue to learn from it.
Absolutely, man. Sebastian, this has been fantastic. Super pumped at your success. I'd love to chat with you about Inner Circle, but appreciate you being on, man. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
And that is it for today. Go ahead and get my free real estate investing course. Text the word rental to 33777. RENTAL to 33777. You can also join my Real Estate Wealth Builders group coaching. Get all my courses. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next show. See ya.